Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Update for Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Happy Monday and happy fall. This is my favorite day of the year. I love fall so much, I can't even tell you. So excited about this fall. Got so many projects going on. Anyway, happy Monday. Hey, if you're not in the Discord yet and you're a paid subscriber, you are missing out on the whole value of your Lund Loop subscription. And if you are not a paid subscriber, you're missing out on everything, right? Let me give you an example of why you should at least check out the Discord. Like if you're not in front of your computer all day because you have a life like most people, you don't have to, you don't have to be there for every post in the Discord. But at the end of the day, just sit down with a cup of coffee or grain alcohol and just scroll through it. Look at some of the charts, look at some of the things that people are posting in there. So I'll give you an example of how this has value. We've got the green watch lists. Everyone knows those are the things that I think are going to move in the next 1 to 3 days. We've got the yellow watch. Is it yellow or orange? I can't remember. Orange watch list, which are the active stocks. But I've also got something called the bullpen. Those are stocks I'm looking at that may go on one of those lists. And sometimes I'll point out a stock that I think is interesting, but because it's maybe too speculative, I don't put it on the watch list. So if you just look at the daily update at the end of the day, you won't really see it. And one of them is good old Voozy here. So Voozy, I noted on the 5th, I said, hey, crappy old Voozy, starting to move out, right? So it broke this downtrend, it based a little bit here, started to move up, broke above the 50 EMA. Great. So that's something that kind of puts it on our radar. Well, this morning, about 5 minutes before the market opened, I posted this. Super crappy VR glass company Voozy starting to look better in the short term and may be in the process of reversing the long-term downtrend that began in April of 2021. So there's the 2021 downtrend, right? There's the break of it. This is the consolidation area. Talked about it or showed it here a little bit more short term, right? It's starting to break above here. Well, what do you know? Voozy popped a quick 10% right out of the open, right? Just went like that and ended up the day a cool, what was it? 31%, almost 32%. Look at that breakout there. Is that beautiful or what? Cleared. Is that the all-time high VWAP? No, it's the pivot VWAP from here, right? Stopped right about at a pivot point. So, you see things like that in the Discord. What else? How about this one? So back on the 15th, I said AST acting a little bit better as it moves into the gap here. Now, this is a really interesting point, and this is something that I have hammered home again and again and again. When a stock doesn't do what you think it should do, that's often a sign that it's going to do the exact opposite. Now that sounds nebulous, right? But we see this all the time when we talk about false breakouts or false breakdowns. We often see big moves in the opposite direction. So what happened here with ASTS? ASTS fell off a cliff. It gapped lower here, pushed up, and it formed this bear flag. And really, from a technical standpoint, with this short-term downtrend here, it should have probably broken lower, but it did the exact opposite. It actually gapped up and it went right up into this, to this gap right here. That's signal, okay? And so, I said it's acting better. Then the next day I said interesting action. This morning on ASTS, buyers keep stepping in on every drop. We saw AST then kind of base for a little bit, and I just happened to be at a craft beer bar meeting a friend, and I said crappy chart, but I'm on my phone at a craft beer bar waiting for a friend. Anyway, AST closing back above 42 negates the recent breakdown, right? There's the breakdown. If it gets back up above here, that negates it. False breakdowns or breakouts often lead to sharp moves the other way. A push through 44 would confirm it by breaking the short-term downtrend. And what have we seen since? Well, let's go take a look at ASTS. All right, so there's where we negated that move. This beautiful basing here started to move up here. And what happened when we got above 42, right? There's 42, which is like right at the top of that gap. Boom, we're up 8.5% on Friday. And then today we're up another 8.5%. So, I don't know, what is that? 15, 16% in 2 days. what did we do? We cleared the VWAP here, the all-time high VWAP. We broke this trend line, and we had some good volume. So the point is sometimes things don't show up on the green or the orange watch list, but they are in the Discord, and I just think that's part of the value for being in the Discord. So, all right, rant over. So today, what happened? Well, after quad witching on Friday, had a little bit of a gap down, but look, we couldn't go anywhere. There's no fall through. We gap down. We just base sideways a little bit, and then we break up here. And then what happens? What happens? We've seen this so many times. We recapture all the moving averages, and what do we start to see? We start to see this spread. Now, not too aggressive of a spread, but a decent one. We come up here. We get back above the close on Friday. We get back above the high. And where do we stop on the pullback? It's amazing. It's almost like price has memory. We literally stopped to the penny at the high from Friday and the 20 EMA. The 20 EMA ends up becoming support. How many times have we seen this before? A trend up day with the 20 EMA as support, or a trend down day with the 20 EMA as resistance, and that's exactly what we got all day long. We came up here, we went to the 20 again, and we closed pretty much at the highs of the day. Qs, similar action, right? There's the 20 there, there's the 20 there, there's the 20 there, and we closed near the highs of the day. IWM doesn't really trend like the Qs and the SPX, but it did hold the 20 a few times there, like this area here. And finally the Dow. Yeah, so up day across the board. And look, I think you know what I'm going to say here, right? Because I've been saying it for a long time, and it seems like every Monday for the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks has been big. And then we get a little bit of a mellow Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we get a big Thursday, Friday, right? Well, you know what I'm going to say about the daily charts right now.